Hi there, Holly McDonald here, realtor here in Orange County, California with Compass. And today I'm here in Newport Beach. As you can see, it is a beautiful sunny SoCal day. So I wanted to talk to buyers today about the market and how to prepare themselves for buying a home. And whether or not you've bought before or not, this is a video for you. If you're interested in getting more information about buying, selling, investing, renting, all of the real estate things, please subscribe. I'm always throwing out useful tips and information, and I'm happy to cover any topics that you would find more interesting. So make sure to message me about that. So let's talk a little bit more about the home buying process. If you watched the last two videos in the series, number one was the first step, and that is getting pre-approved and why that is so important, how that really sets the stage. Step number two was setting your expectations and aligning yourself with an agent who meets your communication styles. Now we're going to talk about step number three, which is actually getting out there. Now that you've got your agent, you've got your pre-approval, you are set. But now you need to go out there and look at homes. So that is quite the fun part. And usually people want to start there, but we have to take the other steps to lay the groundwork. So looking at homes, I'm sure you've looked online and seen some homes and maybe dreamed about the ones you wish you could have. And now that our expectations are set, we can start focusing on the homes that are in the areas, the price points, and have the features that are really going to set and meet your needs. One of the great tools with the internet and how we can all be so communicative 24/7 is that we can set up searches that include everybody, you, your agent, anybody who is like a deciding factor in the home search should be on here. So if you have parents that are really heavily involved and going to be maybe living with you one day or helping to finance it, and they're really decision makers, they should be on here too. So once we set up the searches, it's really great because from there you can communicate about the homes directly. So you can actually go in and comment about the homes and easily send them to one another rather than trying to pull them from multiple websites and getting all scattered and confused. It's really nice to have them in one centralized location. I oftentimes will find that a lot of people will expand their searches because they're looking for a needle in a haystack or thinking they found like the next best thing, and come to find out that it's not the best thing. Like there might be something that you're not aware of. For example, a lot of homes in our area might be on what's called lease land. And so with the lease land, the purchase price is oftentimes a lot lower, but there are other things that you might not know that go into it. For example, you might have a space fee, which is very expensive on a monthly basis. You might not be able to get the same type of financing as you would for a standard home, and that can be challenging or more expensive too. So even though it might look too good to be true and it might look like the deal of the century, it also might not be something that will actually work for you. So you want to know what's actually going to work for you and focus on those homes rather than being upset about the one that might have gotten away. Also, another key point to think about when you're going to be looking at homes is the market cycle and the timing. Some homes in our market are going to be gone like that, and you're going to have to really dedicate yourself to making home searching like a huge priority. It can easily suck up your weekends, and some people that is not what they're looking for. So if the weekends aren't an option, then the weeknights or the weekdays or your lunch times might have to be. And you really have to get your priorities in line if finding a home in a certain amount of time is really, really important to you. And you have to communicate that with your agent and make sure your agent or their colleague is going to be free to help you look at properties. You know, we're entering a changing market where viewing homes, it's going to be imperative that buyers sign agreements before they even see houses just to view them if it's not at an open house. So you do need to have all of that in place and make sure that whoever you're working with and you have a really good idea of scheduling. I also think it's really good to be in tune on communication styles. Everybody likes to communicate differently, and you need to be upfront about what works best for you. I know sometimes people will find realtors or we'll find clients through social media, and that's how we communicate. That's how we know each other. But then once it switches over to actively looking at homes and you need to be on task, social media DMs might not be the most effective way to communicate. You might need to switch it over to a text message, or you might need to switch it to email, whatever's going to be more quickly received and responded to by all parties. So figure that out. Make sure to just get on the same page. It's really about clear communication. And then when you're looking at homes, it's really good for everybody to learn each other's style and pace, because sometimes some people like to zip through homes and they've seen the photos, they just want to verify that what they have in their head matches. And other people really like to get in there and explore everything and take their time and imagine themselves there. So I think it's really good to just plan a certain amount of time that you're going to be at each home. Don't overload it. If you want to look at 10 properties in a day, but you're going to want to spend 45 minutes in each property, that's probably not going to work very well. There's just simply not enough hours in the day. And it's really hard to coordinate all of those showings. So I think after you go out a couple of times, you start to get a rhythm, but it's really good to just be upfront and maybe look at a couple of properties the first time so that you can get a good feel for how in depth you want to go and what sort of questions are going to be important to you. I know a lot of times when people are looking at condos or townhouses or homes in an association, you might have a lot of questions about what those HOA dues include and what utilities are included. And there's a lot of information that might not be on the listing, but if those things are important to you, put it out there up front so that way your representative can start to research that for you in advance. And then another thing is I think it's also really important to know what sort of notes you're going to be taking. What I love about some of these interfaces where you can actually have a search saved is you can go ahead and make notes as you're touring the properties. It makes it a lot easier to keep things straight in your head because it can get very taxing after a long day of looking at multiple properties. They will start to blend together pretty much all the time. So you want to take proper notes, especially about the things that are important to you. If that house has the cool dishwasher, make a note of it so you don't confuse it later with a different house and then get confused and upset yourself when you can't remember the correct one or you have the wrong expectation of what that house was. And some houses I know they might be offering appliances included like refrigerators or washer dryers, and some are not because they're personal property. Whether they are or aren't is always good to know. But then also, if they're not offering it, maybe you want to try to negotiate it if it's a really nice one, for example. So make a note of it just so you know later. I know a lot of first time buyers don't have those appliances. So, of course, it's nice if you can score them with the purchase. That way you don't have another expense coming out of your pocket. But sometimes you don't want them or need them. So, I think it's really important to make notes of those types of things as well. And then finally, in this market, depending on price point, there could be a rush to have to submit an offer. There might be an offer deadline, or there might be multiple offers coming in, or maybe it's just a home you don't want to miss out on and this is the one. So you want to act quickly. And so it's a great thing that you've already got your pre-approval done, but then we have to get an offer together. And so I highly encourage you to ask about offers early on so that you know what to expect. And in the 11th hour, you're not like a deer in the headlights. Like, what is all this paperwork? What does this mean? We'll be going over those in future videos too, but just to get yourself ahead of the game, just be prepared that if you do find your dream home, it might be very important to get an offer together that evening or within 24 hours. And so you want to be ready to work on that and make sure that you have time set aside to make your dreams become a reality. So looking at homes is truly one of the most exciting parts of the home buying process. That's why shows like I used to work on, like House Hunters, are so freaking popular. Everybody loves to look at properties. Looking at properties for you is going to be such a fun experience, especially when you're finally able to find the one that you can call home to. So if you want more information on looking at homes or getting a search set up, reach out. Let's start setting up a home search for you. And then one day I'll see you on the other side once I hand you the key and you can walk into your own front door.